Okay, let me start off, first of all, with thank you for taking the time to come out here this morning. I'm joined here today with my wife, Colleen, behind me. I want you to understand something. I've had a long political career in the auto industry here in the city of Oshawa, and without the support of my wife, Colleen, I would never have been able to do what I've been able to do so far. So I want to thank my wife for always being in my corner. She truly is the foundation of my household. So I've actually come here today so I can make an announcement. It's my intent to seek the nomination with the New Democrat Party for the candidacy of the Oshawa riding if a federal election is held. You all know that we've faced some very, very challenging times in the last couple of years. And challenging times even before we were forced to deal with the global financial crisis. Oshawa's been hit extremely hard. Oshawa has one of the highest unemployment rates across our country. And even before the global financial meltdown, we were hemorrhaging good-paying jobs. You've heard me say time and time again that we were bleeding good-paying jobs at alarming rates. Within the last 12 months, we've lost across the country 400,000 jobs. The levels of uncertainty throughout our community and throughout our country have never been so high. Most people that are lucky enough to have a job today are going to bed every night wondering if they're going to get tapped on the shoulder tomorrow or next week, that they're the next casualty of the lack of action on behalf of our government. I believe our current MP has been silent for far too long. I believe we need a strong voice and we need action in Ottawa on behalf of all the citizens of Oshawa. And my plan to seek the candidacy of the Oshawa riding is not just about the auto industry. It is not just about members I represent across CW Local 222. It's about every person that lives in one of the greatest cities in the country. It's about representing the needs of all the people of Oshawa, not just auto workers. And I want to make that extremely clear. Earlier I talked about struggles we face, and you know what we've gone through here in the city of Oshawa. But every time we took on a fight, it wasn't just about CW members. It was about the livelihoods of working people in our communities. It was about the hemorrhages of good-paying jobs and reminding people, for every one job we lost in that assembly plant, we were losing an additional 7.5 in spin-off employment in every sector of our local economy. So again, this is not about CW Local 222. It's not about auto workers. It's about people of all ages, from all sectors of our economy, from all regions of this city. It's about doing a better job than our current MP has been doing. It's about being upfront and center and open and honest with the people in Oshawa, the people that pay taxes, the people that are suffering today. We have people in Oshawa sleeping on the streets like never before. We have people that have lost their jobs that have been forced to sleep in their cars if they're fortunate enough to still be able to afford a car. And that's a shame. And one of the strongest cities in the greatest country in the world. So we need to change. And if I'm successful in my bid to be nominated as a candidate, if I'm successful in my bid to be elected as the MP for Oshawa, I commit to all of you and I commit to the citizens of Oshawa. I will be a strong voice in Ottawa, and I will make sure that action is taken on behalf of everybody in the city of Oshawa. My ideas for government action, right off the bat, is to once and for all put in place real pension protection. It's an absolute shame that people work all their life, and at the end of that, on any given day, stand to lose their hard-earned pension dollars. So we once and for all have to address the issue of pension for all working-class people. And at a time when we're bleeding jobs, at a time when thousands of people can't find jobs, we need to address real EI reform. Workers pay premiums every week in case they need that safety net when they become jobless. And in my opinion, it's absolutely disgraceful that our government of the day and our MP in Oshawa has not driven home a stronger message for real EI reform for the people he represents in the city of Oshawa so they can collect the benefit at a time when there's no jobs to be found. And we need to create real jobs. We need to create good paying jobs for everyone in this city. I spoke about the hemorrhaging of good paying jobs, and yes, we've taken a real kicking in the manufacturing sector. It didn't have to happen. We've been cautioning the government for years now around the issue of unfair trade. We can't compete with offshore manufacturers. We've been proud manufacturers for decades in the city of Oshawa and across our country, and we let it slip away. So if I'm successful in my bid, I will fight tooth and nail to finally have our government wake up and address unfair trade. We can't compete with workers in Korea or China or Mexico. We're Canadian, we're manufacturers, and we're damn good at it, and we should get back to it. We also need money for infrastructure. Take a look around our city. We need real money put into public transit. We need money to go directly to our city, so we don't have to look at in the newspapers and editorials and people writing about the terrible conditions of our streets and our roads. Real money goes into our city for the people that are paying taxes that should be able to drive down a street without losing the front end off their vehicle. And finally, we're standing here today with what could be one of the most attractive waterfronts in the region and across our country. And I think it's high time that our government get off their rear end and address the issue of the Oshawa waterfront. We should all be very proud of that. So let me close off by saying once again, this is not about Chris Buckley. This is not about auto workers. I'm 48 years old. I was born in the city of Oshawa. I continue to live in the city of Oshawa, and I will remain living in the city of Oshawa. This is about a government trying to shape the future of this country, specifically the city of Oshawa. We owe it to our children, and we owe it to our grandchildren to make sure we do everything we can that this city will be proud, they'll be proud to live in, and we'll be proud to say we live in Oshawa. Thank you very much.